When Aaron Rodgers watches the Super Bowl from home coming February, it will mark 57 years since the Jets' last title. A far cry from his goal of playing in the game and matching Tom Brady's feat of winning with two teams. Had he done that, something that many fans and analysts preached when joining the Jets would have come true. They felt the four-time league MVP was going to prove that he was comparable to the GOAT, if not possibly better, as a football player. Those people were even ready to spin the narrative that Rodgers was a better quarterback than Brady, and it was the Patriots' way that gave him his first 6 rings. The now 40-year-old had everything going for him. He had players he wanted, an offensive coordinator he trusted, and most importantly, an owner who was ready to give it all with the Jets. Fast forward to today, and those people bullish on Aaron Rodgers should start recording their apologies. The Aaron Rodgers they knew is not available anymore. To make matters worse, he may not be seen for much longer if the situation with the Jets continues to be head-scratching. From 2008 to 2021, Aaron Rodgers was by far one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He won 4 MVPs from efficient passing and some incredible Hail Marys. It was such a delight to watch that many favored him to win the MVP as well as Super Bowls, but every year the Green Bay Packers faltered and could not even reach another bowl game. Some would argue that team construct and coaching matters, but one cannot take away from the fact that the California native struggled in those do-or-die situations. Other than the 2011 Super Bowl win, the Green Bay Packers reached the NFC Championship game 4 times. In those games, he threw 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions as he failed to lead his team past that stage. 5 more postseason losses reinforced the narrative that he couldn't handle the brightest moments. Fans supporting the argument that Rodgers is comparable to Tom Brady might not even want to look at the latter's postseason record in that same period. Statistics aside, what makes a great quarterback is how he leads his team. Playing the most vital position in football means the said person is tasked with handling the most important decisions. On one hand, the now Fox broadcaster had players waiting to sign up with his team just to get a chance to play alongside him. Many have noted how he handled players in the locker room without showing an ounce of ego. So much so that Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans famously went into full attack mode when trying to defend his quarterback. He did have some beef with Marshawn Lattimore, but he had no business in that altercation other than to defend his QB. If anything, that should go on to show how players feel about Brady. Now coming to the other side, the soon-to-be 41-year-old is anything but a leader of men. How he deflects blame on every mistake is not something players forget. Leaders showing accountability goes a long way. Rodgers' lack of that has seemingly led to 3 job losses on the Jets, and who knows how many more. Sure, there are a few players who want to play alongside him, but any player worth their weight in salt might argue that Brady is a far better leader and teammate than Rodgers could ever be. In the New York Jets season so far, players in that locker room are giving off similar vibes. One look at Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and other players continuing from last season, and one could gather that something is wrong in the green locker rooms of MetLife Stadium. They look unhappy and demotivated after what has transpired so far. Last season, they were not ecstatic after Zach Wilson's bad quarterback play led to some horrible losses. But that made them optimistic about heading into this season knowing the also-great Aaron Rodgers was going to take care of business. But that optimism faded quickly. Those players saw the superstar quarterback seemingly get their favored head coach fired. Then, after doing a fantastic job drafting those very players, GM Joe Douglas was let go. Try as he might, but any amount of denial does not take away from the fact that Aaron Rodgers was intent on winning the power battle. He wanted to win it his way. What he did not account for was that the other 40-something players were not appreciative of those changes. Word around MetLife Stadium is that even fans are also disgruntled with the way Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers have dismantled any good that was building up. They may argue that it was for the better, but 5 losses from 6 games in a blown season do not support that argument. If anything, a half-decent quarterback should have led last season's team to do better. When Tom Brady weepingly left the New England Patriots, he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who welcomed him with open arms. But it was not plain sailing for the superstar who walked into a completely new offensive system. But after a while, Brady got the hang of it and led his new team to the NFC Championship game. This time, though, he had Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in front of him. Brady had a shaky game throwing 3 interceptions, but he backed it up with throws that mattered as the Buccaneers took the lead and kept it that way. Whereas Rodgers could not convert crucial drives late in the game. Some blame Matt LaFleur for not going for it on a 4th and goal with a chance to tie. A few seasons later, that logic looks justified as it seems he simply did not have any faith in Rodgers. Trading him away and retooling the Packers to head back to the playoffs seems like a wise decision now, whereas his former quarterback has declined to be one of the worst in the league. Tom Brady wounded out his Buccaneers career with 1 Super Bowl and postseason appearances in all 3 seasons. He also put up some of his best offensive performances in those seasons, setting personal records for yards and NFL records for attempts and completions, all while nearing 45 years of age. After all that, he retired without blowing the team up, whereas Aaron Rodgers has had a horrible season where he won't win anything and has seemingly placed the New York Jets in a lengthy rebuild. Once again, a reminder that his supporters start recording their apologies. Do you think the whole Brady versus Rodgers debate was overblown over the years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And for more sports-related content, subscribe to First Sports.